Hello, this is Divine Sunshine coming to you with your reading. If you're unable to hear this, I am on my iPhone and my iPad is acting up. It's not charging up at all. I need to say, I need to take donations from a new iPad. Something is going on with him, but he is not charging up at all. In Chicago, this weekend will be Sweetest Day. Sweetest Day is a holiday in which it takes time out to honor the men. And instead of having Valentine's Day, because most time they say Valentine's Day was for women, and so it's all about them. And they said Sweetest Day was the day that was invented here. I forgot how it came about, but it was for to honor the divine, for the to honor the masculines, period, in our lives. So it's all about them on tomorrow, which would be is it August the 20th? Yeah, it's all about them. Just kind of know that I'm wearing my Chicago Teachers Union here in Chicago. The teachers are on strike. Just send your prayers to this. This fight is more so than just about paychecks, and it's kind of hard for people to kind of understand and wrap their head around. It's pretty much with mixed emotions as to why we are striking. We are striking because here in the city of Chicago, we do not have enough. We do not have librarians. We do not have a nurse for each school. We do not have counselors for each school. Those are some of the issues, and the class sizes are too large as well. Some teachers teach 40 kids, and if you know, even with your two kids or one kid that you have on your own, sometimes that's too many. Right there, dealing with all those different personalities housed in that one little body. There, so you can imagine what we go through as teachers when they know that we are not their biological parent, and some of that leverage of them being able to discipline and listen is kind of hard because you got a lot of other stimuli that's around, and they're looking at seeing what the classmates are doing and all those things. So it makes it very hard in which to really have teach effectively in the classroom. So send your prayers out for that, because like we were talking about on the picket line this morning, that is more so than just the idea of us doing this, but it's really pretty much education and teaching has always been something that has been associated with feminines, something that a woman would do. And we were talking about how on the line that if this was like firemen's or policemen's or anything like that, the things that we're asking for, they would get it together and have us. They will give it to us. But since it's a sexist issue, which I've said that too, and it's feminines that's involved and behind it, it's always a pushback when we're always trying to stand up for our self worth and what things that we're worth having our and we're supposed to have. And some kind of way is always be quiet, simmer down. That's all right. Let a man do it. You don't need much. It's whatever I give you. You be okay. And once we find our voice and we like, no, we ain't taking that. No, this is what we want in order to make our job more comfortable. A lot of times we get a lot of and pushback, and no, it ain't your time. Maybe a little bit later we give you the money that you're asking for. Now a little bit later you don't need those a library and stuff. You can do all that stuff yourself, and so that's what makes it hard. Okay, so I just want to say, just send your prayers, our thoughts out to Chicago Public School teachers with that, because it's right now with this day two that that we're striking, and we're just beginning, but we don't want it to get further than what it has to do, because then at that point and that extent, it's the children that's paying for it, because the adults can't get the situation right and come to agreement on something that is really for the betterment of the kids, and that's what it comes down to. So I just want to bring that to your attention. So while I'm off, those of you all, I had a couple of subscribers ask me, so "Are you doing readings now?" Because I had to kind of wait and get that out the way. It's so funny how the universe say, "Okay, well, let me take that off the table so you can actually do readings." So you can go to my site, divineunisource11.co, and you can get a reading there. Um, you know, again, I have blocks and triggers, inner child healing, divine rays of light image reading, what's your mission and purpose, your twin flame relationships. Yeah, I pretty much, I think I named them all that I have there. So those are all of the areas. Yeah, and he's also coaching because I am your spiritual intuitive life coach. And I give you the keys to union, which means keep energizing yourself into union. So I give you ways in how you're able to do that. So go to divineunisource11.co so you can get that. All right, let's go into this real easy peasy lemon squeezy. Hopefully I can keep this as fast as I did the other one. I'm so proud of myself. I did it in 40 minutes. So I'm going to try to keep up with this. This one will be a Sweetest Day special where we're concentrating on the Divine Masculine. Okay, so with the Divine Masculine, I put that up. Yep, 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 yep. Yep. The overall energies that we have here is this, which is Knave of Chalices. And we have this card here, which is Justice. Ooh, I like that. Justice. I'm gonna do this because I don't know. I'll never love this way again. So I keep holding on till the love is gone. I know I'll never love this way again. Hold on, hold on. I don't know where that came from. I did a reading before him. Boy, the songs are just flowing. I was like, really, really. This is what we on. Hold on 1 second. Let me get this water. Oh, gotcha. Okay, Knaves of Chalices. Oh no, I'll never love this way again. Knave of Chalices. Okay, here we go. Oh, come on, eyes. Straighten up. Jealousy of the ink. The magic of the ink. Doubts are slinking along in the distance. You must find a way to communicate and meet in spite of the considerable distance. Okay, so even if some of you all are in not communication or you are non-communication or you are in separation, he's being pushed now to push past the doubts. And that's probably why I'm singing Dionne Warwick's song, because he probably said, I know I'll never love this way again. So I got to keep holding on until all the good is gone. So wherever the situation that he's in, he's waiting for all that stuff to things popping. Thank you. Waiting until all that good in whatever situation he is gone. It's like, okay, I'm really trying to hold on to one more bit of good to see can this kind of work. And then when it shows, it's like Elvis has left the building. He's gonna be able to leave it alone. Okay, that's the overall energies. What was it? The Justice card. That is the major arcana, right? Okay, Justice. Number 8. Oh God, I got to get these contact lenses together. 8. That ain't the number. Go back. Is it here? My eye show is stop. Okay. Here we go. Meeting the sword of power. To obtain love, you must give something in exchange and pay the price for the errors of the past. Okay, so that's kind of self explanatory. right here. So it looked like to me like the divine master has really been sitting down trying to write some things, and maybe he done wrote and erased it and wrote it. Sound like me today. I guess it must have been in my divine master thing. Like I want to say something, you know. I seen another reader who was talking about saying that the divine masculine has really gotten to the point that it's like he's been recessively thinking about the divine feminine over and over and over again. And I can see that because I see this like this black cat, very superstitious. So whatever it is, he keeps on that superstition keeps on playing in the background in his head. It's like if I do this, then this is gonna happen because it always does. That's what I always think that the cat represents to me is always like a superstitious of some things. It's got the candle burning, like the flame is there, spilled ink, like really writing. He's got something in there. I can't see that one. But in the background, he's knowing that he's feeling like it's an illusion. I get a fork in the road that it could be the divine master with this third party energy, the illusion of it, or is him in the background saying, you know, him and the divine feminine, and he's got to get rid of illusions of the doubts and saying, I can't do this. So this is probably the second one that I have in mind. So that's what I'm saying. So, but this thing, she's going mad with thoughts about it's like, you fool, or you like, you big dummy. It's Fred Sanford, his son, saying, why you can't get out of this situation? I'm looking at his with the justice thing. She's got the sword. So she's not really got the sword of truth like she's standing in it, but she looks like she's armed to use it at the moment's notice. Like she's really, to me, when I see this thing, like she's really cutting some cords and some things that don't really kind of work. I can't really see what this is. Oh, the fruits of her labor. So she's really balancing out. Look like the tip of the scales look like fruits is in one side and there might be figs or something at the end. Well, whatever it is, it's like she's really balancing out the fruits of her labor. It's like she done planted seeds and she's ready to reap her harvest as well. And so that look like it seeds on one spot. So to me, I want to say in some ways I'm looking at it as like the beginnings, starting the beginnings, or the fruits of labor is like the ending or something. So it's like to be or not to be. Should I start all over again, or should I go ahead and start at the end of something? You know, that's what I'm seeing here. She's got her wings. She's ready to fly. You know, although she's sitting and she's thinking about it. And most time I see people with their little feet together like it is in this picture here. It's like they really pondering something, you know, to me. It's like I'm not really steady footed, but right now she's in the point, I got my sword. I know what I got to do. To me, she's like, to me, it's in her queen thing. She's not in no, Lord have mercy, high priestess mode. This ain't high priestess energy here coming off this. This seems kind of queenish, kind of like I know what I got to do. I know what the strategy is. I know weigh my pros and cons. Should I not? Should I leave or should I go? Do. So it's right here. These two little energies here. But she look like to me is like, you know, I'm sexy and I know it. But I'm really saying she's getting a footing, getting a leg up because I'm really paying and drawing attention to these legs here. So she's really trying to get a leg up on this situation so she can be able to, when she's ready, she can stand. So it's like, to me, she's like, I got all this stuff. I got my sword, I got my scale, and I'm balancing out some things. I'm trying to balance myself. I got my wings, I'm ready to fly. And I got my, you know, my legs, and I got to get a footing on it. So to me, it's like she's ready to arm. When she's ready, she'll put that sword down, which is means standing in her truth, and she's armed. So she's prepared for this justice to come. Okay, we all know what the justice card actually even means in the traditional tarot. So that means, so she's really exchanged to obtain something of love. She must give something in exchange and pay the price for the errors of the past. So in her emotions, she's ready. So again, that's right. This is divine masculine read. So again, in his emotions, he's feeling just like what I had just said. Everything about the divine feminine emotionally. that is getting justice. And I want to say in some ways it's saying getting justice for the divine feminine. So I'm sorry, excuse me if I was reading it as if it was that, but you remember again that we are both energies, divine feminine and divine masculine. And it's nice that we got a balance of both cards being represented here for the overall energies here. Okay, the male, masculine, and that. So this, whatever I said earlier about the feminine, rewind it back and go and see it. And that's what we talk about, the emotional aspect of the divine masculine. The divine masculine said that he is sending you a song. I'm sending you a song at this time. So anytime you get any kind of songs, that is being sent from you to from the divine masculine. Okay. You are so sexy. Okay, so the divine masculine, I really pick up this, and I've seen it in these cards here. The divine masculine is really doing a lot of thinking about you, divine feminine. He said, I turned out liking you, liking you a lot more than I originally planned. This is all in his thinking. This is what he's thinking in the 3D. This is all 3D thinking. So he said, I'm sending you a song in the 5D. In the 3D, he said, you are sexy, and I turned out liking you a lot more than I originally had planned. And that's probably what's driving him. I heard somebody say it in another video. What's really driving him mad about some things that they say he's just really been excessively thinking about the divine feminine. In his side space, he has free yourself. Okay, it's time to take back control of your life. So he's really knowing now that he's really in a position. Now I'm not the only reader that came up with that. That's saying that these divine masculines are in these spaces where they really can free themselves at any time. I think that was divine twin all stars world, whatever it's called. I keep on calling him something else than what he is. And he was talking about, he was saying in his, he had like the devil card, and the devil card had like chains around the divine feminine, divine masculine. He said, but if you look at this tarot card, he said actually at any time they really could take them chains, that little loop they got around them at any time. It's not really around them really good. It's just really loosely placed around them. It's not like a dog collar. So really they could be able to free themselves because they are a unicorn. They really know, they already know that they are divine and something special about them. And so then he knows he needs to do that. But however, right now he's in that energy where he's moving into is this understanding, saying this, you know what, this worriedness, this where I'm at is always a state of this perpetually the same crap. He said something else, but I'm going to keep it nice. Carrying crap happening over and over again. It's time for me to do something about in this, what's going on in my heart. It's a never ending story. I can't get no flight on something. And this feeling that he keeps on feeling like he can't even fly away or get any kind of freedom about it is really something that at any time, if he would set his mind to it, he could be able to free himself. The next card is make the effort. So he really is in his heart space saying, I really want to make the effort. He's got a lot of things this time, but he's really afraid that the divine feminine is going to sit there and be like, okay, that's nice. But inside, we know the divine feminine is turning over somersaults about all this, and he knows that if this is a great love, he really needs to make the effort to do this, because he knows that he's saying he's moving in the energy and understanding that it's something special. This is his twin flame. He knows that his divine unisoul. He knows that this is something that is penguins. They mate forever. That's they mate. They don't change, exchange mates, or get anybody else. And he knows that this person, this divine feminine, is his true mate for life. That's his divine counterpart as well. He knows that she holds the keys to his heart, and it helps the love flow from him very freely and all around them. Also in his heart space is calling your soulmate, which means calling your twin in. He knows a lot of prayers, affirmations, visualizations help bring you together. It's not only the divine feminine that's been doing the calling, but he's at the point that he's trying to call his divine counterpoint in as well. He's just allowing the divine feminine within him to do all the calling, to call the divine counterpart, the divine feminine, in. He knows by doing this is because getting in touch with his divine feminine within himself to work together to be able to call and pull this divine feminine in is being able to unearth a lot of things that's going on within him emotionally. But he's going to take his time doing it. But he is in the point that what he is doing is practicing uh, him calling in his divine counterpart, his divine feminine. He also feels as if it is unrequited love. He feels that there's not enough attraction and chemistry to keep the relationship going. Now, this goes two ways. He doesn't feel in some ways that with this third party energy that he's in right now, he's got a lot of friends that's involved. I'm looking at this card, and this is what's popping off with this one. Where is this? A lot of friends, a lot of people is involved in this situation with this third party energy that's putting their 2 cents in. It's like even if it's just them two there by themselves, it's still these friends are still there energetically, still there, put their imprint on how the relationship is supposed to be, what they're supposed to be doing. He feels like really by being in this unrequited love relationship, he has orphaned the divine feminine. He's feeling this now. He feels like what he's put her up on a pedestal. He's iced her um, out of the situation, and he just left her out in the cold. Period. And he feels like he can feel that at this time that she feels very like she's abandoned. Okay, and she's hurt, and he's moving into this thing because he's imagining this. He can imagine, he can envision this. Spirit is bringing this to him, and not only that is because now he's even gotten to the point that like he's almost like a parenting checking of the two. Like he's thinking about the divine feminine, the life with her, and he's looking at this person or this karmic situation that he's in. That's be person, place, a thing, and he's thinking about my life. If I stay in this, oh hell, what's gonna happen to me? Okay, what's my life gonna be? So he's really at this point. He's really still pointing his way up. You see the person pointing up to the illusion, trying to create this push and pull, trying to pull the illusion down, and kind of doing that as far as, and also getting in touch and connecting with his intuition and his awareness as well, which is helping him to level up because I see stairs there. He also feels in his heart space that he wants to retreat. He wants to get away, just the divine feminine in himself, rather it's spiritually. He's doing this retreat like he's doing through his imagination, or is it actually in a 3D? If he could steal a couple of moments away from whatever this karmic situation is in, again, person, place, a thing, he believes that he'll be able to kind of get some answers, get some knowledge about some things, shed some light on some things, and gain some enlightenment with that. He knows that always by doing this retreat and really getting in touch with himself is helping him to really have an understanding that there's no place like home. He knows this is like a Motel 6 where they leave the light on. The divine feminine has left the light on, leaving a way for him to be able to ascend and to come up higher to where she is. He knows that he is now with this retreat thing. It's going to help him with this fork in the road issue that he has, which is this push and pull. He knows that he's got to kind of work with that energy to pull the divine feminine in this area, especially those of you all that's in separation that said deuces, say I ain't thinking about that, and I ain't never thinking about coming this way again. As Dion Ward, when it comes to him, he knows he needs to do that. He needs to become wise. He needs to gain, like the fruits of his labor. He needs to plant some seeds down so it can grow and harvest next, and grow this knowledge that he needs to have about this. He feels like it really with this unrequited love. This is some monkey business, and he feels like my friend said, this is some monkey business where he could stick a fork in himself and say, I am done. This is working on my nerves. I know it's working on my divine feminine nerves, and it's definitely working on mine. So he's really feeling that. But he's also in the mood that he's feeling like he can retreat, kind of pull back from everything, get his resources together, know what his next step is. This is going to help to bring to line some serendipitous event to happen. So he feels like if I kind of, if you feel the divine feminine, masculine this weekend, maybe is kind of pulling back a little bit. That's what he's kind of working on. It's like I'm trying to pull back so I can concentrate and I can create this serendipitous event to happen. Okay, things that right now the divine masculine is hiding. He's hiding that he's sacrificing himself. emotionally. Maybe he's putting his heart out there and he's like, this is unrequited love. I really wish that I would be someplace else other than this. But right now, because of several things, when I clearly clarifies, you'll see why he is really covering up. They can't really see what's his true heart going on. They can't really see what he's standing on through his solar plex. He can't see what he's really connecting to through his sacral, and they don't know what he's rooted into as far as that and his crown. He don't want them to know that he's making connections with the divine feminine through that, and working with his intuition. He just a little bit, when you see this, when he's sacrificing, it's kind of shedding a little bit of light of what's going on and helping them to get a little bit of enlightenment where he's at, because he's really surrounded by darkness in this. And so he's got like a little awakening going on here, which is going to help him to get, which is the number 7, suspicious completion. That also why he is being sacrificing is because, again, he's moving to this energy of a happy family. I think once upon a time he sacrificed happiness because sacrificed himself because he wants this happiness of this imagery of this happy family thing. But at the same time, he might have said, I feel him say, I sacrificed myself because I knew you had some spiritual growing to do as well. And so I did this and I got into this situation so that later on we will be able to have this happy because you got this rainbow, which is the covenant and God's promises of where it is to be when I see you, as it is on earth as it is in heaven, to make that that connection where, with twin flames of us coming together and to having that union. Okay, so that's that one. And then also when you talk about sacrificing, he feels like, when he does do this, he's going to have to sacrifice some things to end whatever this contract thing that he's bound by or he's involved with. Okay, but it's going to help him to get, okay, thank I heard the pop. But it's going to help him to get some balance about himself. He's going to have to go about this real, I see this, all you say, justice is blind. We also get some justice. But then also I think about when I see this, walk by faith, not by sight. He's going to be doing this by faith, being able to get out this situation. And like I said, get some more knowledge about himself emotionally. He also is moving to the space in which he is getting some, he's strategizing. To me, he look like he's going old school. He like, yeah, this new school way ain't working. Now I might have to kind of go back to my old foundational things. Like old fashioned with me to me will be from the beginning, like getting sovereignty, starting with a clean slate, thinking things through, using some old school method would be like a child. Maybe I might have to imagine my way out of this. I might have to visualize, have a optimistic attitude just like a child. Or I might have to have no filter like a child. Just tell them about themselves and don't care. Because when I was a child, I tell people, like I told one of my clients, I did a reading, I said, children don't have no filter. They tell you in a second, ooh, your breast stink. And you be standing there as a parent like, what you say? Oh, Lord, please don't tell me. He said, no, like, that's not nice. You don't tell. And they be like, but that breast is stink. Why I can't tell her that her breast stink? So that's but we gotta kind of get back to that where it's like, listen here, this ain't working. This unrequited love. Be able to really actually say that, okay, and put it in writing. Like you say, he's scared to text it or tell this person this or put it in writing the contract that what you got for half for me, half for you, and let's call it a day. He's got to kind of get that. I see he's counting coins because he know that whatever his situation is, going to have to take some coins or he got to get his coins together. Fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael. So that's the heart chakra because you got the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, and then the next one would be the heart. Okay, so you got the heart chakra there. So really kind of working with this in order for him to sacrifice, he's got to get in touch with what the heart says. Okay, I always say unrequited love. Like, what does the heart say? Like they say, what does the fox say? So you be saying, what does the heart say? Yeah. So forget about the fox. Think about what the heart says. Next thing, very quickly, just trying to see about him. Let's get an idea of what's going on in his situation. So we have a gift. He's waiting for Divine Master is waiting for a gift to be dropped off to him. I say to be also, he's got to learn how to live in the present. So right now he's like, I'm living in the present. I ain't looking at the past. I ain't looking at the future. I'm looking at my now, as Eckhart Tolle. You know, what's the gift of the present, which is now. And I'm looking for them as far as divine timing to bless me now. He wants to become the wealthy man. Okay, so he knows he needs to make some withdrawal for this. So if he's in stock and he's invested all this stuff into this third party situation or this karmic situation, personality thing, he knows it's time for him to draw his money and say, thank you, I no longer want to be a part of this bank or this organization or this marriage. I need to cash out and I need to make close the account. He knows it's time because that's represented here in this picture with this timepiece and preserved. He wants to also go on to this journey. He's got his bags packed in his mind. He's been thinking. This is what he actually wants to do. He see this here coming in together, coming into some kind of physical union with the divine feminine. And we have 10, which to me is like we done did all the steps that we need to before we start back at 1. So, right, so you go on 10 and all that countdown stuff. So this is where he say he wants to go on the journey. However, with this, he still has here, we got this thief here. So whatever it is, that could be a third party situation in the form of the woman is emotional, is playing on his emotions. He feels like he's getting laughed behind his back being in this situation, and he's got this child. So if it's physical children involved, they're tugging at his purse strings, tugging at his time, because he's like, time is at the is of the essence. But him being in this relationship here, he's like, I'm staying here, but it's robbing him of time because of the children or this child. Or if there is not any children involved, then that would be because of inner childhood wounds that's causing this. They say, nah, it's good here. I feel safe here. This reminds me of mama. And you're like, well, mama abandoned me and mama was abusive, so I don't know how the hell you want to stay here. This feel comfortable to you. This don't feel comfortable to me as no adult. That's you back then. So, that's something that he said he knows that this whole situation here, he's got some death has got to come, okay? He's got to end something to begin something, and that's got to happen. And you see him has enlightenment here with the candelabra and the flowers. Excuse me, something has got to come and bloom there. And then you got the light shining through the window there. So it's like an opening into the soul. And then it's because it's very dark there. So he's kind of depressed. All these cards got a darkness to it. So he's kind of depressed too. The ending result is once he get a hold of this saying, yes, you want to say yes to the dress, or you want to say, yes to the journey. Get rid of this damn thief, the karmic situation, person, place, a thing with these childhood issues that keep on tugging on him. Talk about, oh, it's fine healing, stealing time from him. And he said, I got to put the nail in the coffin, the last nail in the coffin to end this, because he's got to end something to begin something. He's going to turn into this mature man. And to me, the mature man represents the divine masculine. That's like, really, I got all this worldly knowledge. I got this enlightenment. It's shining on the world as far as what I need to do is my mission and purpose. So, and I got something that I can actually physically put on the table. So that is where the divine masculine is. Things that he's got to surrender, some life changes that he's about to incur right now here is realizations and epiphanies. He's going to get a lot of synchronicities, some numbers, people saying things. Something going to hit him when they, in layman's terms, would be something hit me in my gut where your solar plexus is talking. They say, because I watched something the other day was talking about, like the gut is really your second brain. It is brain. This is different, the brain up here. But that other one, that second brain, really helps you, to make the decisions, to let you know, and intuition, as far as what is right, what is, or what needs to be changed. Okay, and so realization and epiphanies is what he's going to be doing. This is going to help him to communicate more too, because I see we're represented with this blue butterfly, which is going to transform his ways of communication. That means verbally, writtenly, written, just dialogue, talking to them. This is going to really make a major improvement. And I see yellow here, which is represented by the the solar plexus. And that's going to really help him to stand in his power as well. When he has this realization, epiphany, it's going to be like a whole new world. So it's going to open up a whole new world for him. These illusions going to move out the way. Right now, he's kind of cloaked in darkness. He's cloaked himself, which is helping him cloaking, which is protection. As he goes off into this new venture and going, like that's it, on his pier waiting for his ship to come in. That's why I see in some ways what you say about the world. He's going to have these realizations and epiphanies. He needs to work on in his divine energy, which would be goddess of wisdom, Athena. He's got to look at some old situations. He's got to look at some old relationships. He's got to look at some old behaviors too to kind of guide him and know, because Athena is pretty much like a warrior. She knows what she wants and she gets after it. She knows the target. She has to use kind of maybe old, outdated, like I said, going back to old fashioned stuff, back to the drawing board. I said that earlier about that, to really get rid of and be in defense of these things that may be coming towards him. In order to make this happen, he's got to shield himself, okay, and he's got to become wiser about these new changes that he wants to happen. He also, with his his divinity, he's got to be the god of sensuality. Again, no matter how he looks on the outside, he's got to work with his body and the way he's expressing and showing it to the world. That means being okay with the skin I'm in. It doesn't matter if I got some certain deformities or whatever. My personality shines through. It's other things that I can rely on to kind of get me through, that people would not be looking at some of your whatever shortcomings, physical, emotional, whatever, that still you have to be good, feeling good in skin that you are in. So we got a two, which is mean finding unity, finding that union within self to say it's okay. I'm not really totally where I want to be, but I'm sure enough know I ain't where I used to be. Okay. Next one, surrender to setting limits. It is healthy to set boundaries in relationships. Practice expressing your needs and remember that no is a complete sentence. Full stop. Period. Period. As the kids say. Period. You don't need to add on no more extra to it, because if you say that's it, I'm sorry, nope. And don't get no explanation, because once you give explanation, you give them way to weasel their way in and add some extra stuff to it. So really at this point, especially when you say setting boundaries and limits, like, okay, we're going to go back to up here to the top where it says this unrequited love. If you say that this place where you are, as far as in a common situation with this person, place, a thing, is unrequited, it's just like it said down at the bottom, there's not enough attraction and chemistry to keep this relationship going. If you know that is not enough for you to keep it going, then you need to set boundaries and find some ways, just like you're saying with the just the cards, how to weigh the pros and cons and find a way how to get out of that, because you got to set limits for yourself. You're sending the wrong message to yourself. Like I told my DM, oh my God, you put yourself last. I say, what kind of message are you sending yourself? Ooh. What kind of message are you sending yourself, but that you are not important? Okay, so you got to learn how to set those limits, so you again be able to practice that self-love. Okay, what does the divine masculine want to say to you? I don't know. I don't want to know about you. Okay, it says get to know each other. Learning to meet another's needs for love is important for a relationship to grow. Okay, so in order for you to be able to meet your divine counterparts' needs, to me what it's saying is learn yourself. To your own self be true. For thy own self be true. Be true to your own self. Learn your own self for you to be able to union. Find a place in which creates that union and that peace within. Once you know you and you got that union going on between your divine feminine and your divine master self within yourself, he said, I will come. That way, when you know yourself, that's how you knowing me. But again, like I said, if you are in communication with the divine masculine, then yes, by all means, find ways to kind of get to know him as well. You know, you have to kind of, I know with me and my DM, I have to write like, hey, you know, I'm here, and you know, you got to learn how to kind of really make sure that you are actually acknowledging that that person is actually there with you in the relationship. That's a big thing because again, learn to meet another's needs for love is important for a relationship to grow because a lot of times we come in there, we always just thinking about what we need or get my point across and you know whatever one up means or manipulating in some ways, and that's kind of the wrong way when you speak in fluent karmic in these relationships when you get into the divine. That's at the beginning. I tell myself that's how I was at the beginning until I learned to say, okay, wait a second, this ain't working. I don't like the reaction this is because look like every time I pop off and say I'm gonna give him a piece of my mind, we go into these separations. And so, you know, that's why it's very important to understand the love language that your divine masculine does. If you're able to do that quiz with them, that would be great. Sometimes you can make a game out of that. And then you will get a good understanding of what kind of love language they do. If not, read the book for yourself and start studying your divine masculine so you can be able to communicate with them better. Because I know I seen the communication card come up there earlier. So just make sure that you're taking time out to learn yourself first, because you'll be surprised by some things about yourself that you didn't know, that you didn't really you didn't know about it. Say, oh, I didn't really know I didn't like that, you know. And so you'll be learning yourself as well, so as your divine masculine. I hope that you all were able to partake in that video I did by Dio was talking about how there is physically, you are able to physically feel your divine masculine when you all merge and become one. So again, that's another thing for you to kind of think of, getting to know yourself, because a lot of times, like if you when you at that stage where you actually feel yourself and your divine masculine merging into one within yourself, or you say I can feel them, you know, that's it's pretty good for you to be able to know them as well through that route. Okay. All right, so that is the end of this reading. I did pretty good. I did under 40. Ta-da! Very good. It's an hour and a half. Again, go to divineunisols11.co. I will be doing the inner child healing class on October the 26th. It's on judgment and attacks. Yeah, right. So that's important for you all to do that. I have also the videos for my inner child on there too, as well, as you would like to peruse that before we get into class next week, because usually I get on there at 11:20 Central Time. So you know, all that good stuff on my website. You know, videos, educational videos, my heart-to-heart meditation, which is the bees and knees, which is very, very good at understanding and connecting with your divine masculine within yourself first, and then it kind of trickles out and kind of helps you to see what's going on with the DM in the 3D. Yeah, so it helps you to get to know that. So okay, is there anything else? Oh yeah, you know I got T-shirts, my cards, and everything else. But this here is my card. This is my card, Divine Human Souls. This one, 11. I did this for I think it's $22 for this one. If not, go on my site so I can see. All right, it's been a long day, but I said I had to get down here and get this because I didn't know when. But again, like I said, readings are starting, especially while I'm off. I can kick in and do a couple of readings. So until next time, stay enlightened, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, Namago. Love you.